listening to the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Scoop Slam Podcast. We are back. It's pouring with rain outside here in Lower Alabama, but we are showering some wrestlers with awards today. It's the mid-year awards, and when better to do it? It's halfway through June. It's been a interesting 2026, but we're here for the back half. But before we get to that back half, we're going to go ahead and hand out maybe some early predictions for our end of the year awards, also known as the Scoopies. Before we get too far into anything, I'm one half of your hosting team, Micah, otherwise known as Mr. Scoop. On the other end of the call, the historian of the Scoop Slam podcast, he is Mr. Slam. It's Ryan.
Yo, Micah, great to be back here with you. We are back better than ever, and we are here to scoop it, slam it, and talk about a little wrestling here. I'm excited to be here with you, Micah.
Took a little 2-week break. Probably best for both of us to refresh our palate.
Sabbatical. What did we used to call it on the earlier episodes?
A hiatus, because I mispronounced it once.
A hiatus.
That's it. But we've got a big slate. Once again, we got Forbidden Door this weekend. Then
oh no, that's this weekend?
I thought it was. Is it next weekend? Am I sorely mistaken?
You might be right. I don't know. We'll go with it.
Yeah, we have Forbidden Door coming up. Then I think it's a Saturday night's main event. Then Night of Champions. Then another Saturday night's main event.
I think Night of Champions is first. Saturday night's main event. And then we got SummerSlam. I think that's what we got for the next 4 weeks.
Good Lord. Well, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Forbidden Door is next weekend. So we'll have one more episode of just regular TV reviews. And we can have a little further analysis there too, because I know there's been some stuff happening on Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite that we haven't really been able to get to recently just because of all the pay-per-views. But we'll have that for next week. But let's go ahead and break it down, Ryan. We've got the mid-year awards, and we're going to start it off with Best Newcomer to Promotion. Now, as a disclaimer, I would also like to mention that this counts from NXT to the main roster, at least for us, because there are a lot of guys that transition from NXT to the main roster, and ladies, that don't translate as well because it is a different audience. So we count that here. And Ryan, I'll let you take the lead here. Who did you pick for Best Newcomer to Promotion?
I think this has to be a runaway landslide. This it's got to be Danhausen, does it not, Micah? I mean, he debuted and got completely just ridiculed online for that debut, and maybe rightfully so. But then he completely turned it around. He basically the mascot for WWE at this point, and the whole New York Knicks saga. I don't even know if we can go into that, all that happened, but just with all the merch money he's making and the reactions that he's getting every single week now, Micah, I don't think you can say that anybody is in the same stratosphere as far as a newcomer to a promotion that's hit the ground running as fast as Danhausen, right?
See, this is one of those moments where I wish we did cameras, because I wish you could see the look on my face. Because I agreed with you all the way up to Runaway. I did not expect to disagree this early.
All right. What you got?
Are we forgetting the greatest young prospect in wrestling right now? The Ruler? The Conqueror? Obafemi?
Yeah, he's there. He's there.
We're comparing Danhausen to Obafemi for best newcomer?
This isn't a good. Come on now. Well, this is tough. Don't act like this is a an easy decision. Danhausen making the company a lot of money right
Yeah, but I like Danhausen. Whatever. I'm not his biggest fan. I understand he has a
now.
place, but we're talking about WrestleMania main eventer for the next 10 years. Came in and beat
Oh,
Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
are we just gonna pretend like Danhausen didn't uncurse the Knicks into ending their 53-year-long NBA championship drought, Micah? That's bigger than Obafemi. This is basketball, pal.
So we're just. Is this the introduction of our Scoop
Yeah,
Dunk
there you go.
podcast?
Alley Scoop. Yeah.
Alley Scoop. Okay.
Yeah, Micah. I mean, how can you ignore that? Can you imagine the reaction Danhausen's gonna get for that Saturday night's main event? You see, he's on the poster, right? Guess where that
I did
Saturday
not
night's main
see
event is
that.
gonna be?
New York.
Madison Square Garden. Can you imagine the reaction he's gonna get?
Do you think they get
He
Brunson?
might come out there with Mom Donnie.
Hey, I'll allow it. I'm here
Yeah,
for it.
let's do it. Let's do it. Can
Brunson,
he take
Mom
a bump?
Donnie.
Can he take a bump?
Who are they gonna have him in there fighting? Rudy Giuliani? Well, regardless, before we get too far in any direction, I would also like to mention that I had considered when I was spitballing here. I thought Tommaso Ciampa also was maybe
Oh,
in
get
the
out of here.
conversation.
Come on now. What, Psycho Grandpa? He's your best newcomer?
He completely
Really?
reinvented himself, and he's treated like an actual big deal in AEW.
He's
Meanwhile,
reinvented himself?
his buddy's planking backstage.
I like Buddy didn't get a North American title shot, pal.
Well,
Remember he went
that,
against Miles Bourne at that NXT show that we watched?
yeah, there wasn't nothing about the match to remember, but I remember it happened.
Well, that's because of watered down Randy Orton in the match. It's not on Gargano. We're
Nonetheless,
nitpicking though. Yeah, we're
yeah,
nitpicking. You think Champa is in that same stratosphere as Goathausen and Obafemi?
I didn't say he was in the same stratosphere. I just thought like he was somebody that came to my mind. I thought maybe he deserved a mention.
No love for Tekla, Micah? Or has she been in the company too long?
I think she has been in the company too long, but
All right.
she wasn't going to be here either. But we'll move on to most improved.
Oof.
Once again, and this is the thing, I just felt like I really didn't know. Like, usually when I do these award shows, and maybe it's because it's the end of the year and I like really know who I'm already thinking through 8-10 months. But for this one, I wasn't too sure who to go with. I had a couple ideas. The aforementioned Champa was one of them.
Come on. What's going on with you and Champa, man?
Yeah, I'm just saying he has improved a lot from where he was when he came out of WWE. But to me, there's only one person that fits this category, and it's somebody we've been talking about a lot recently. And I think this woman gets a lot of hate online for no reason. And I think that's Jade Cargill. I think she had one of the best matches on WrestleMania. I thought she just had another excellent match with Rhea Ripley. She had arguably the best match on that Saturday night's main event. If it probably was not the best, but it was definitely, I went into it thinking, but they actually kind of stole the show a little bit. Her and Michin, Jade and the baddies, whatever you want to call them. But to me, Jade gets a lot of hate online because of where she's came from and, some other extracurricular things. But the fact of the matter is Jade Cargill is one of the best women's wrestlers in WWE right now. Yeah, maybe not necessarily in the ring, but when Jade comes out, eyes are on Jade. And you cannot deny that.
I think like each major match she has, people say, well, this is the best match of Jade Cargill's career. And then each time the haters come out in the same force and say, oh, actually, Jade was carried to this match. And at a certain point, we just got to give Jade her flowers. And I'm with you. I think she's the most improved. And I'm excited to see what she does in the second half of the year because the building blocks are there for something. But we're gonna
Yeah.
see how they handle the second half of the year because she might be in that contention for Women's Wrestler of the Year when it's all said and done.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the back half. I think she did get dealt an unfair hand with her
Yeah,
reign, but that's
but
honestly just the whole women's division in
yeah,
WWE right now.
if Jade can get a marquee match on SummerSlam against Charlotte, and they have a good match, which I'm sure they will, I think we're gonna have to start looking at her as Women's Wrestler of the Year.
Yeah, I don't hate that pick. But we'll move on to go to some of the lowlights of the awards here. We've got the MIDI for worst commentator, Ryan, and
Oh
I'll
no.
let you take the lead here on this one. I'm pretty sure I know your answer.
Yeah, worst commentator. I You could go with a lot of guys on this list, and a lot of the worst commentators, in my personal opinion, are across the street over there in AEW, Micah. And honestly, you could have picked Taz, you could have picked Shivani, you could have picked Daniel Bryan, but I'm going with Excalibur. And I just don't think that your lead announcer just yelling out the names to moves and not actually telling a story, which what a lead commentator is supposed to do. I don't think that makes you a good lead commentator. And the fact that he's leading that team over there, and at some parts in the show they just have like a, I don't know, it's like they're hooked up to laughing gas, like they can't take anything serious, and then it just takes you out the show, makes you want to mute the whole program. I don't think there's any worse commentator out there right now than Excalibur, and I don't even think if you just took him off commentary, I think Shivani would be a lot better. But you just replace Shivani with just a soundboard at this point, and it would be pretty much the same. But yeah, Excalibur just brings down the whole product, man, when he's on screen.
I will admit he was probably my 1B choice, but I'm gonna go with Shivani for the sole
It's like, yeah,
purpose.
hold up, Paul, it's like we alternate every year with Shivani and Excalibur. I
Yes.
swear, somebody needs to go back and look at our end of the year awards. I swear, it's just Shivani and Excalibur just rotate.
Well, I kid you not, I saw a post on Twitter the other day, or X, excuse me. That
Yeah,
was
dare you?
it was a clip from Collision where Shivani's the lead commentator over there, and I believe it was the Shane Taylor Promotions and Death Riders match.
Oh, that
And
stink.
I kid you not, the Death Riders slammed somebody through a table, I think it was, or if I don't remember who was slamming or going through. But regardless, Shivani was like, "Oh, through the table." And then just silence for like 20 seconds. I don't understand. And the tweet was like, dude, and the guy's like pretty pro AEW. And he was like, y'all don't understand how bad the commentary is. And people just don't call it out because it's AEW. And then there was people in the comments being like, yeah, I've tried to put my friends on to AEW and they always say they can't stand the announcers, whether that be Excalibur or Tony Schiavone. And I don't know, man. It's just Excalibur, I don't think is necessarily a great choice for your lead commentator, but he's friends with the Bucks and all of them. So like I get it, whatever. But Shivani is
Why?
literally no value.
No, but you got Riccaboni right there. He was pretty good last time we heard him, right? You tell me
Yeah.
he can't do what Excalibur can do week to week? Every time you bring that up online, Micah, that you get the sickos, oh well, he said he didn't want to travel. Bro, if you're how does he do the ROH shows? How's he getting to those shows? Don't they do that at the AEW tapings for
Yeah.
Dynamite?
Unless they or unless they like
Well, hey,
dub
you know what?
over.
Why can't he do it remotely? Corey Graves, he does all the commentary remotely. He's pretty good.
Oh, does he do that with AAA?
He does. He doesn't go to Mexico every week.
I didn't know that.
He's never there. He's never there at ringside, Micah. So I'm like 90% sure they do all that remotely.
Well, this is a good pitch because our next award was Best
Ooh.
Commentator. And I actually selected Corey Graves. And I
Yeah.
think it's funny because I want to say a couple years ago, I had Corey as like either worst or honorable mention for worst.
Yeah.
And
From the
now
outhouse to the penthouse.
100%. And now I enjoy him on AAA. When he does the pay-per-views, I enjoy him. He just feels like he genuinely wants to be there, and it helps that AAA is a great show to me as well. But yeah, like I'm sick of Cole. There's nothing wrong with Joe Tess and Wade. It's just sometimes they're a little bland. And yeah, I just feel like Corey to me is the best going in the game. Now I really like Nigel, and I wish I could hear more of Nigel, but sadly, they don't see it the same way. So
Yeah. It looked like he was the odd man out at one point, Corey Graves. I mean, you remember when he got taken off the commentary on Raw for Pat?
I do remember that, yeah.
You remember that? He just was the odd man out, and they moved him to NXT. But he worked his way back up, man. He was in NXT, and now he's the lead commentator on AAA. And you talk about versatility. Then he's the color guy on Raw every week, and everything he does, he knocks it out of the park. And he makes that AAA show what it is just by being there and very knowledgeable of the Lucha Libre product. And yeah, man, Corey Graves, what a turnaround.
And that's crazy just again because like you said, he got shipped off or
Yeah,
not completely shipped off, but
they did.
now
They shipped him back to NXT. They did. He had no
yeah.
spot on the main roster commentating, and then he sent out that cryptic tweet, and it just felt like they were pacifying him by giving him the AAA show. But he's been, especially because there's more of a spotlight on AAA now. Corey Graves makes that show what it is by him being there, and like I said, the knowledge he has of the product, and he doesn't detract from the show. He adds to it.
Yeah. I
He adds
also
to it.
just think the tandem of him and JBL is really, really good.
Yeah, I don't know about Ray being there. Is Ray still on the commentary team, or they get Saudio Vega in there?
I'm
It
not
was just him.
100% sure.
I did watch the last episode, and they didn't have a third guy. It was just Corey and JBL. So we'll see if they maybe get a third guy up in there soon that can, handle the translation like they were
Yeah.
utilizing Ray for.
Well, Ryan, for best commentator, did you also had
I did.
Corey or did you have somebody
I
else?
did. No, I had Corey. Corey was my guy.
Interesting. I wasn't sure where we were going to go, but I'm glad we both landed on the same person. But we've got a lot more categories to get to. Another one that may shock you, Ryan, is best non-wrestler. Now, this is formerly, or I won't say formerly. We could probably name this the Paul Heyman Award, but I'd like to see what your answer is, Ryan, for best non-wrestler halfway through 2026.
What are you saying formally for? It's going to continue to be the Paul Heyman Award until he steps down, pal. He is the best non-wrestling performer of 2026. End of story.
I'm gonna zig here a little when you zag. I really have not been super impressed with Heyman's work this year. Now, I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's maybe to the standard of some of the former stuff that he's done. And I'm actually gonna go. This might be crazy. I'm gonna go with Lil Yachty.
Come on, man. Come on now. What are you doing? You know, I I don't. Can I have some reasoning for this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want your reasoning. You give me.
Okay. My reasoning is the Vision just feels dead.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
And I don't necessarily think that's the fault of Heyman, but I just feel like I remember some in-ring promos this year that were just blasé because it's who he's in the ring with. And I unfortunately think it's time to start having some serious and difficult conversations about Braun Breaker. We won't do that here on this show, but I'm
Oh man.
in the next couple weeks I would like to kind of go over this topic. And to me,
Mm.
Heyman just feels bland. Like he just feels blasé. Whereas before we were getting great content, with Roman and Punk and that whole ordeal. And this year for him, I can't remember one great promo, one great line. Like maybe some of the stuff with Oba, I thought that was good. Whereas with Yachty, I feel like he actually elevates Trick. And he was
All right.
basically put out to pasture as soon as he came out. But to me, it's like Trick is a bigger star because of what Yachty's able to do with him. So I don't know, maybe this is crazy, but it just feels like where Paul Heyman is just kind of there, it's like the whole package of Trick Williams as a main roster player involves Lil Yachty.
See, I think you're being a little tough on Heyman here because you're comparing Heyman to a young Heyman, and you're not comparing him to the rest of the field as far as non-wrestling performers. It's like LeBron kind of ran in this same type of ordeal as you just did with Heyman. People compared 2018 or 2021 Braun to 2013 Braun, and no, he's not as dominant as that year, but he was just as good as the other great players in the league at the time. So you can't do that, Mike. You have to compare him to the rest of the field, and you can't tell me that Lil Yachty had a better performance than Paul Heyman did throughout this whole year. You can't tell me that. You didn't even watch. Man, what's your favorite Lil Yachty promo?
The rap segment with Kit Wilson.
You like the gingerbread funeral segment?
Yeah. Hold on. You
That's
were
what
all
won it.
over that gingerbread funeral.
I wouldn't. Yeah, but I wasn't gonna give him wrestler of the year because of that.
Not non-wrestler of the year. How about that?
Non-wrestler of the year. Okay, well, I wasn't gonna give him none of that. It's
I'm just
crazy.
saying. I feel like. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm Maybe I'm being a little too harsh on Heyman. But I just don't
Yeah,
feel like anything Heyman is doing this year is very interesting to me, and Trick Williams feels very interesting to me.
I think he's had some good in-ring segments. Heyman, remember he took that curb stomp?
I do remember that.
Remember
Yeah,
that?
but I mean that's not.
Yeah.
It's not topping the
He
highs of the
he had
gingerbread man funeral.
he had to carry that Oba and Brock build up. He was there in the middle of it.
Carry. I think
Yeah.
Oba did the carrying there. Oba cut some
Well, I
good
mean,
promos.
I'm just saying though, Paul was in the middle of that. Didn't you say that was one of your favorite feuds? At least to start was the Oba and Brock lead up to WrestleMania.
Yeah,
You think
what
Brock
I
was
think it
cutting
was.
promos? Brock cutting promos in that?
No, but I don't
Well,
know.
there you
Yeah,
go.
but then I'd have to be like, oh yeah, Heyman, and then I have to watch him go to the Vision, and I'm like, these guys
I think your
again.
hatred of Seth has taken over.
It's poisoned.
It has.
They've put chemicals in the water
Yeah,
supply
yeah.
of the Vision, and
It's
now I just hate all of them.
it's done poisoned your love for Braun Breaker now. You're building up your burial of Braun Breaker in the next couple weeks.
Hey, well, we'll get there when we get there, but we can
Oh
move
man.
on
All
to the
right.
worst PLE / pay-per-view of the year. And Ryan, I think we all know what this has to be, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You got the stats. You're the numbers guy, Micah. But I'm pretty sure I gave Revolution a dud. I think that was Revolution. Or is that Dynasty? or Revolution?
That was Dynasty. Right. Here are
Okay.
the numbers, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Revolution was a 3.6 and Dynasty was a dud.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Dynasty. Wasn't that the one that had Omega and MJF as the main event?
I believe so.
And
The
that
match of the night that
casino.
we had was Andrade versus Darby.
And they had that casino gauntlet match thing that lasted forever, and they had job guys in it. And then Kevin Knight won it. Another job guy.
No.
Wasn't that it?
Yes, that was it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was
No, that
mixing
was
up the national championship.
You remember Leo Rush? That's where he debuted the gimmick that nobody explained and nobody has ever explained.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
suddenly
It had
yeah.
the 10-man casino gauntlet. The main event was MJF versus Kenny Omega. We had Moxley versus Ospreay for the Continental Championship. Like I mentioned,
Boring.
Darby and Andrade. FTR defeated Cage and Cope the first time.
Yeah. Boring. Finisher kick-out fest. I wasn't a fan. And I think I said it then. I'll say it again. It could have been the email. I didn't want to see it then. I don't have any desire to go back and watch it. I'm sure the guys worked hard, but yeah, it happened.
Well, I gave Dynasty a 4 for reference. I was not that much of a fan, but I cannot deny there's only one winner for this to me. And that's WrestleMania Night 1. WrestleMania Night 1 was absolutely atrocious outside of the Gunther Seth match. And even then, it had a not true finish because Braun came out and attacked, which was fine. That made sense for the story. But everything else on WrestleMania Night 1 was just terrible. It felt like you get so excited for WrestleMania, and that was just such a vibe killer that just the ads were everywhere and nothing felt great. And then the main event, once again, Randy Orton does what he always does and stinks it up at WrestleMania. And we knew this was going to happen because he's in there with the 3-star general. And then you have the McAfee and Jelly Roll involvement. WrestleMania Night 1 was absolutely horrendous. And that is my worst pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah, it was I don't know. Well, I don't think it was that bad, man. Just had a lot of ads. And the main event is stink, but I don't think it. At least it didn't go on for 6 hours like those AEW pay-per-views do.
I mean, yeah, but at least I feel like I get something out of those. I got nothing of value out of this, and this was like 4 hours. Well, it made me feel weird for night 2.
No, see, I tell you this all the time, Mike. You got to start from like 15 minutes before so you can skip all the ads.
There we go.
Yeah. So you're just watching wrestling wrong, pal.
Well, from the outhouse to the penthouse, we'll go to best PLE/pay-per-view. And for this one, Ryan, funny enough, I got to go WrestleMania Night 2. I thought this was absolutely excellent.
Yeah.
We started with Oba Brock, right winner, right result. Like I said then, and I still maintain this. I think that's basically a 5-star match. There's literally nothing I would change about it. It is a little sour now because Brock came back or whatever, but
come on.
In the moment, it's still a great match, a great moment for Oba to do that. The reaction was absolutely electric. We also had the Rhea Jade match that night, which I said earlier. I think that's probably Jade's best match of her career. It's up there with Rhea's. And then we ended off with arguably match of the year, Roman versus Punk.
Well,
Punk finally gets his singles.
Well, back it up. You had that great ladder match too.
That as well. I think the only lull spot was the Finn and Dom match. And it wasn't bad. It was just not up to the level of the other stuff.
You had that great entrance though with the Demon. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Punk and Roman match, that was phenomenal. And we're gonna be talking about that a lot more on the show.
Yeah, it was everything really you could ask for being a Punk fan, and knowing like what that meant to him. And they went in there and absolutely killed it. one of my I can't exactly say my favorite match of all time, but one of. I just really enjoyed it and had a great feeling coming out of it, even though Punk lost. And I thought they told an excellent story there. I would like to mention this was a toss up between AEW Double or Nothing, which I also really enjoyed that pay per view. One, I guess, flaw to both of these is I just felt like coming out of them the aftermath felt blasé from both companies, and that's kind of just the story of this whole year.
Yeah, but the spectacle of WrestleMania is always going to be tough to beat. If a WrestleMania is good, then that's always going to be like a show of the year, just because of the pomp and circumstances and the great entrances and the media coverage. It's always going to be tough to beat. But yeah, I agree with you. WrestleMania Night 2 was my PLE of the year as well.
Well, I'm sure we're going to
Yeah.
ruffle some feathers with this one. Though I really don't think it should, but regardless, we're going to go to Best Booker next. And Ryan, I'll let you take the lead on this one, and I'm assuming we're going to have the same answer.
You know what? When I seen this, all the categories you sent me, Micah, I think the quickest answer to an award that I had was for the best booker, and I think that's the Undertaker. And I cannot believe I'm saying this, but the Undertaker has completely came out of nowhere and started booking for AAA, and I'm pretty sure he has a little more freedom in what he does as far as like away from the TKO umbrella. AAA, is off doing its own thing. They got a 1 hour YouTube show, so their shows don't overstay its welcome. Taker booked the hottest angle in wrestling this year, not just WWE, not just in Lucha. No, the hottest angle in wrestling with the El Grande feud, and it's just like a natural fit, like a man that lived his gimmick his entire career. Now he's booking for these larger than life superhero type characters, and it's just a match made in heaven, man.
I
think
never would
Undertaker's
have
for
thought.
the year.
Yeah, I never would have thought either that I would say Undertaker is the best booker of the year, but I mean, what a crazy world we live in, right? And I honestly had never connected that dot that you said that a guy that lived his gimmick
Yeah,
comes
he's
out,
booking for
to
a show full of gimmicks.
yeah, a show full of gimmicks, guys that live their gimmick, and that's how serious it is in
Yeah.
Mexico. So it really is a match made in heaven. Obviously, it's not just Taker; he has a team around him, but so does everybody.
Yeah, I think
Um,
a lot of people say Jeremy Borash too. If you're a longtime TNA fan, you know Jeremy Borash. But yeah, shout out him too. But go ahead, Micah.
well, I was just gonna say, people try and say that to take away from it, but it's not like Triple H is the only person booking WWE. You got Michael Hayes and Bruce Pritchard. It's the same thing there. So I think this has to be Taker. I mean, I just feel like a lot of people were not really tuned in to AAA. I gave it a shot and I was like, dang, this actually is a really good show. And I think Taker does a magnificent job with it. It's got you watching every week, it's got me watching every week. And it's the only show right now. And I said this on a TikTok video the other day. It's the only show right now that I catch every week with no, like, I don't just skim through to see what happened. Like, I turn it on and I pay attention. And yeah, I just think that kind of speaks to the talent and what this year has meant to Undertaker and AAA.
Yeah, I agree.
We move on to think I think another one we'll agree on, but you could go a lot of different ways with this. Most underrated,
Oh
and
man.
I think this has to be this guy. And this is another one we could probably name after somebody, and it's going to be the recipient for me right now. That's going to be Chad Gable. I
Oh wow.
mean, in one of the greatest feuds in the last few years. It has the ability to do anything you ask him. And people really try and hate on him and say that he shouldn't be rewarded for doing this quote unquote racist gimmick. And I'm not going to tell you exactly how to feel about it. I'm just going to tell you to look at the reaction that it gets in Mexico. And the fact that Chad Gable was able to take this gimmick, which inherently on paper is stupid, and turn it into what they did. Yes, some of that's on Ludwig as well, but Chad Gable is just
Ludwig.
he's a oh, excuse me, the real El Grande.
There you go.
Chad Gable is just that guy that you can plug and play on any NBA team and it immediately makes them better. Like, again, this may not be the best comparison, but you remember how Trevor Ariza would just go wherever and it was like, hey man, we just need you to come off the bench and hit threes and play some defense. And that's what he did. And that's Chad Gable. You can put him on any team, any promotion, company, roster, you're going to get value out of him.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think he lost a little aura when they changed his music on Monday. I don't like what they done with his music, but as far as somebody that you can plug and play anywhere, there's nobody better than Chad Gable. And the fact that they plugged him in to AAA, and AAA had its biggest attended show in almost probably like 10 years. They sold out 20,000 seats in that arena in Mexico, Micah. But Chad Gable can be that guy in a promotion. And it solidified that with his run as El Grande, like you said. And yeah, I think he's up there for most underrated, but I gotta push back a little bit, Micah. I'm thinking Sami Zayn needs this spot right here. And I just think that the hate that Sami Zayn gets online is like completely unwarranted. Yeah, you know, you got the people that say, "Oh, and Sami Zayn, he just Sammy Hogan. He always wins all the time. He's always got to be an underdog." But that's not really the case, though. He loses a lot as well. He doesn't just win all the time. And you talk about a guy you can plug and play anywhere, a guy that can cut a great promo, that can have a great match. I think Sami Zayn is a future world champion still. And he's been doing some great stuff. He had a really good back and forth promo with Cody Rhodes on this last SmackDown. I think keep your eyes on Sami Zayn for the second half of 2026. I don't think he's dead in the water like everybody thought he was when Trick started calling him out and you know, disparaging and burying that great angle they did with the gingerbread man. So yeah, man, keep your eyes on Sami Zayn. But right now he's my most underrated wrestler of 2026.
I can agree to that. He's definitely overhated, and I'm interested to see if they go like full throttle with a heel run, what they can do with him. I'd also like to just throw out an honorable mention that I wrote down, which was Willow Nightingale, because I just, once again, I say this all the time, I feel like she's the best women's wrestler in AEW, and unfortunately, she's injured right now. But I just feel like they never want to like pull the trigger with her, and that's really frustrating. But she's excellent and deserves her flowers.
Well, she's no Tekla, Micah.
God. Leagues above. But we'll move on to our next category. We went to the penthouse. Now we got to go to the outhouse. Most overrated wrestler of the year. And Ryan, I'll let you take the lead on this one. I have a couple people. I don't have my heart set on anybody, so I'm gonna see what you say and I'll decide in the meantime.
I'm going with Tekla, Micah. I just think that I don't know, man. The mannerisms and the promos that she cuts, it kind of reminds me of, you know, like those weird people on TikTok that pretend like they're anime characters and like lip sync to stuff. You know what I'm talking about? And they talk
Oh,
with their hands all the time. It just reminds me of that when she's on screen. She's just trying way too hard. And when that fan base, when they got behind her, it just made her flaws so much more than so much more. Dang, I'm blanking on my
Clear,
words.
evident.
More evident. Yeah, there you go. Very apparent when they elevated her and put her on that pedestal. Yeah, man, you always see, and Tekla's the next breakout star. So what a big star she's gonna be. She's so they love to say this, Micah, effortlessly cool. And no, she is not. And poor Julia and Sky Blue, because I don't know what they're doing. They're just following her around. And they look bored out there. And they look annoyed and bored while they're following her around while she does her drunk auntie impression. And I don't see it. And if you like that kind of stuff, then God bless you. But I don't think using the B word in your promos makes you a Stone Cold level babyface. And yeah, man, Tekla's winning my most overrated for 2026.
I should have anticipated that. Especially, we literally just had this conversation.
There you go. Yeah.
But that's funny. That definitely popped me.
No, it just seems like they lost Tony Storm and they wanted to elevate somebody to that spot. And they all rallied around Tekla for some reason. I just don't get it.
I don't either, because once again, like I said before the injury, you had Willow right there.
They had
And
Stat. Remember Stat was supposed to be the next big thing?
yeah, and she's never gotten a fair shake of anything.
And she never will.
For
Megan Bain?
For B word spam.
Took
But
Okada's gimmick, bro.
yeah, literally. For this one, I don't know if I can I stick a whole group in here?
Okay. Yeah. Why not?
Can I just say the Death Riders?
Again? I feel like they swept all of our awards last year.
They did. And I can't do it with them, man. I don't see what everybody sees. I didn't want to say just John Moxley, because I don't think it's just him at this point, and I think he could benefit from getting away from them. And I actually enjoyed one of his matches at Double or Nothing, but this group, man, oh my god. Wheeler Yuta is just useless. I'm sorry. And people are, well, he actually plays the sniveling chicken crap heel like really well. Okay. Does
But aren't
anybody
they supposed to be
actually
killers though?
Yeah, that's the first point. Secondly, does anybody actually hate Wheeler Yuta, or do they just boo because it's part of the game? We like booing this guy, so
Yeah. I think it's that.
then you've got
Nobody.
Claudio.
Oh god. He's one of the rare guys that was booked better in WWE.
Exactly. I saw somebody with a hot take that commented on my video, and they're like, "Hey, my hot take is Claudio was actually better in WWE." And they're 100% right. He has been stuck in that group for like 2 to 3 years now. And he was a little bit more meaningful at one point when they had him as like the Ring of Honor World Champion. He was on the show consistently having singles matches, and like it looked like he was going to be elevated with this group. And now I don't remember the last word I've heard him say that I cared about. Like he's just there in the background, especially now that they've got Osprey in the group, which that's a whole nother thing that I could get into later. But I don't like him in the group either. Daniel Garcia is better than Wheeler Yuta, but that's not a high bar to jump over. He should have been in the group a long time ago, but
he doesn't get a reaction until he does that little gyration of his hips. He never gets a reaction once he does that.
Which again, these guys are supposed to be killers, but he's doing a hip gyration to get over. And then you got Marina Shafir, which again, I think in a vacuum, if it was just Marina and Moxley, that might be okay. But again, like they expect you to take her serious, and then she got squashed by Tony. Well, I won't say squashed. She got beat by Tony Storm. Like when the lights were brightest, she got beat by Tony Storm.
She got rolled up by Tony Storm. That's even worse. And you thought they were going to do something with her and Ronda Rousey. And then Ronda just shows her face one time and then you never see Ronda Rousey again.
Yeah. And Moxley at the head of the whole thing. I've harped on him for a long time, but then he went babyface, he went heel. You don't know what he is, but the rest of the group is definitely heel. I'm done with the whole group, man. Get the whole nuke the whole group.
Yeah, you thought they were going to turn on John Moxley at one point, and it just kind of stopped, and all the foreshadowing stopped, and then they broke Willie Boy's neck last year apparently, and now he's following them around and getting trained for his upcoming matches. And it's just a weird dynamic. Yeah, I can see why they won this award for you.
And that segues into my next point, which is, or our next award, which is worst feud. And it wasn't my winner, but it very easily could be. And the only reason that it's not is because I'm gonna at least wait to see where the payoff goes. But for my worst feud of the year so far, that's gonna be Natty versus Maxine Dupree. This was just channel changing television right in the middle of WrestleMania. And yeah, it did happen. They didn't pay it off because it got no reaction. Again, this is during WrestleMania season. I could not have cared any less about it.
Natty has that effect on her feuds in 2026. You know, she's feuding with Jada. Was it Jada Parker down there?
I had no idea.
Did you see that? You didn't? Okay, all right. Well, she's feuding with her, and I'm pretty sure she beat her on the last NXT show. Natty did. So, yeah. Shout out her, man.
Her.
Yeah. I honestly don't even remember any of their matches that they had. I remember Natty did have a heel turn on Maxine, but yeah, that was pretty much it. No, no, I don't remember much about that. Maybe it's because I did change the channel.
And I don't blame you if you did.
You know what changed the channel for me, Micah? My worst feud of the year. I got the MFTs versus the Wyatt Six. And I don't know if you were following this, Micah, but apparently the MFTs stole the Wyatt Six lantern and it turned into this 6-month-long story. And
that was this year?
It was, yeah. It ended right before WrestleMania. It lasted forever. A feud so bad that it got 7 guys released. And I kid you not, as soon as the Wyatt Six lost this feud, a month later, all of them got released. Then Tonga Loa got released, and JC Mateo. So yeah, good job, guys.
And then,
but yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say the funniest part to me is everybody pretty much wrote this feud off as absolute garbage, and then when they got fired, they're like, "Oh wait, no, we actually like the Wyatt Six." Like, dude, come on.
Oh, it's just the length of this feud was just insane, and it just kept on going. They had the tag titles at one point. The MFT stole the lantern. You know, you figured the Wyatt Six would want blood for stealing Bray Wyatt's lantern, the most coveted thing that they have. And then they just never really got their payback. And they lost in the final match. The MFTs beat the Wyatt Six. And it was basically a loser leave town match.
Yeah, I honestly thought that was last year. And I guess it's because some of it was last year, but yeah, that's probably I can agree with you. That's probably actually the worst feud because it literally got a whole group fired.
They got a whole group fired and half the other group fired.
Well, we got more awards to hand out, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go to the best feud of the year, and I think this one's a runaway. I don't know that I really have to explain it a whole lot. But for me, or I'm sorry, this is your category. You go ahead.
I got El Grande versus El Grande, and I think this is the best feud we've had since Punk and Drew McIntyre. And it was, bro, it wasn't like they were cutting these fiery 15-minute back and forth promos. They didn't need to, man. They told a very simple story, and the country of Mexico galvanized behind the real El Grande Americano, and the OG El Grande Americano didn't like that. And it was just two guys going out there, and they completely stole the show and got caught headlines in the middle of a very bad year for WWE. But yeah, man, I don't think we haven't praised this feud enough, honestly. I think it's probably one the best lucha feud that I can remember. And
It's up
yeah,
there.
man, yeah, it's up there. I don't know if I mean, I was maybe considering Roman and CM Punk for this, but I don't think they had the
Oh,
same. I don't think they stuck the landing as far as the build up goes. But as far as build up and match, there's nothing better than what they did here for this feud. And yeah, man, we don't say as many good things as we should say about this feud.
yeah, it will absolutely go down as one of the best feuds in this decade. And like you said, it's in a year that things are just really, really lackluster. We're kind of in like a, I don't even know how to describe it, like a dark age of creative wrestling booking because it just feels like everything you've already seen or it's just paint by the numbers. And that's the same with like Punk and Roman. I wanted that to be feud of the year, but then it just fell so flat because nothing about it was necessarily original and it just felt like the guys, well, I say the guys. Punk I think held up on his part.
One of the guys.
Roman just crapped the bed with it. And with this, like you said, you didn't have to have your drawn out, face off promos. Two guys with a real issue brawling. Some of the best brawls I've ever seen, actually. Uh that looked real. This was magic and it's feud of the year, and I really don't see anything beating it by the end of the year. But hey, for our sake, I hope there's something that would be in contention with it.
Let's hope so.
Next up is one that I'm sure I may get you on this one. Now, we may agree, I'd be kind of shocked, but this one makes sense for some things that I've said online, and this is the worst gimmick award. And I did have an honorable mention for this, which was Planking Gargano, which I mentioned earlier. I think that's terrible, but regardless of that, the worst gimmick of the year goes to none other than everyone's favorite anime girl,
Oh, come
Anya
on.
Rune.
What are we doing? Nobody sees that.
And they shouldn't. This gimmick is terrible. It is so. Listen, I understand it. Like we were talking about Danhausen, but part of the joke with Danhausen is that it isn't real and it's very like stupid and like unbelievable in a sense. It's ironic. It's ironic comedy. This is not really funny. This is embarrassing. This is, oh my God, don't walk in while I'm watching this. And then you sent me a clip earlier where she was like falling off the turnbuckle or whatever. Listen, I'm sure the girl or the lady, I should say, I'm sure that this lady is very nice. She's probably a very kind sweetheart that, may not hurt a fly. And I genuinely hope the best for her in the wrestling industry or whatever she pursues. But this gimmick right here ain't it. And I don't think it will work on the main roster at all. I really don't even know if it'll work in NXT because anime, while it has been kind of popular, and I say that as an anime fan.
No, hold on. Let me push back. The NXT crowd will 100% get behind that. They got behind No Way Jose. Come on now.
Okay.
They got
It
behind
may get
Adam
over.
Rose. Come on, man. Look at that audience. You tell me that audience ain't gonna like that?
It ain't gonna get over on the main roster. I'll just say that. And anime is not where it used to be in terms of popularity right now. It's starting to become a little more embarrassing, and not necessarily in what's the
A
best
lot of
way I can
fan
describe
service.
it.
A lot of fan service out there, huh?
Well, not even so much that. It's just like for a little bit out of quarantine, everybody was bored. Everybody was at the house. Hey, let me try this anime. Now anime is like starting to kind of come out of limelight again as like, oh, this is kind of weird if you like anime. And again, I say that as a devout anime watcher, but this right here is not a good wrestling gimmick.
Who thought that was a good idea though? Who greenlit that? Who let that get the TV?
I think
Do they
she's been
not have
doing it
any?
on the indie scene for a while.
Yeah, but you don't reel that in when that gets to television. Who's running Evolve down there? Is that Gabe? That Gabe Sapolsky?
I
That is
I don't even
embarrassing.
want to know.
Bro, I don't understand. Who thought? Is it ironic? Do we just not watch enough of it?
I don't know because if it is ironic, like that's my thing with Danhausen. I get like it's
Maybe it's out of
ironic. It's
context. Maybe it's out of context. We're seeing the one-off clips here and there. Maybe it's out of context. Maybe she's really a sniveling heel and she's doing that. I don't know. Maybe that's her
yeah, but
alter
you're
ego.
you're like
I
25
don't know.
saying ooh, that's gross.
Have you been to those conventions, Micah? You know that. You know what goes on over there.
Yes, I have been to the
You tell
conventions. I
me.
very much know what goes on there. That does not mean that I want to see it on TV in professional wrestling.
You tell me you don't see 1,000 Ani runes at those conventions you go to, Micah.
You see 1,000 worse on your runes, but that don't mean that this is good either.
I think you've been a little harsh on it, but I think the worst gimmick of the year and probably the worst gaslight situation that we get from these AEW fans is them telling you that Leo Rush is a better character gimmick than Danhausen. And yeah, man, Leo Rush is my worst gimmick of the year. I don't even think they've ever explained it on television. He just kind of showed up in that battle royal that we were just talking about, and he just goes around backstage with an umbrella. He spits fake blood, and I don't a Gollum type impression he does, and I don't know who this is for, Mike. It just feels like this is one of those things TNA used to do back in the day to make fun of WWE. You know what I'm talking about? It just
Yeah.
doesn't feel like it should be on television. And then you're just getting gaslit by the fan base telling you that this is great stuff. And I don't know if I walked into the Twilight Zone or this is a Black Mirror episode, but what have they done to my boy Leo? He was so great with Bobby Lashley, man. And he really could have been a big, we do this all the time, make fun of people that say this, but he could have been a great addition to the Hurt Business. He actually did have the history of Bobby Lashley. And I don't know what happened, man. Tony Khan just let him do the stuff that he was doing on the indies, but then he never explained it in vignettes. And now we got comedy segments with the conglomeration and Orange Cassidy with Leo Rush now. And what a waste. He could be a great manager. And now he's doing the humiliation rituals on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
I think it's one of those things too where it's definitely not for me, and I'm not gonna say that it's.
Can you imagine if, I don't know, Sunday Choir came over to your house, Micah, and you're watching a rerun of Collision trying to catch up, and that Leo Rush segment comes on TV, how fast you changing the channel?
Oh, immediately. So not as
Yeah.
fast as I would for Anya Rune though.
It's up there.
But yeah, it's a little awkward and I don't necessarily understand it. And I won't say it's the worst because I will say this, if nothing else, it's getting Leo Rush TV time, weirdly enough.
That's make it
But
good.
yeah, it doesn't make it good, and I will just I will say this as well. The AEW fans seem to think that the clicks and all that this gets is good. But the problem is when you go to the comment section, it's people clowning on it. So, like, yeah, it's got a couple million views, but how many of those views are just because it's like, what the crap is this? What is AEW? What is happening in this wrestling company? And I'm sure there's a crowd of that for Danhausen as well, but I think more people are getting in with Danhausen than they are Leo Rush.
Maybe Leo could be the Brooklyn Nets mascot next year. What do you think?
I could see it.
Really?
Is that just that's an actual curse. Danhausen uncurses and you get blessings. If Leo Rush is your mascot, then 0-82 on the way.
Yeah, embarrassing.
Well, for best gimmick,
Oh,
Ryan, I'll let you take the lead here on this one. I think you may have already mentioned your winner now that I think about it, but I may have somebody a little different.
yeah, I got El Grande Americano. And it's just crazy, looking back 1 year ago, everybody thought that the gimmick was so racist and this thing will never get over. Then it ends up becoming, he ends up being the hottest thing in all of professional wrestling, El Grande. And yeah, it seemed like he was born to be El Grande, Micah. A mid card act before that, and then Ludwig goes to AAA and he becomes the biggest Mexican superstar, maybe, to Mystico. And I don't know. I think I'm putting him over Mystico. But yeah, man, best gimmick, El Grande Americano. It put AAA back on the map as far as a promotion that people want to see and people are talking about. So I don't see how anybody can. There's not a lot of gimmicks out there, Micah. So I don't see how we can pick anybody but El Grande Americano.
Yeah, I also had the same answer. There's not really a whole lot I can add. I thought you might say Danhausen. I would say he's probably the honorable mention here. And it kind of depends on where you want to go with gimmick. I think Danhausen is getting over to that mainstream audience, obviously with the whole Nick stuff. Like that is just crazy how that worked out, right? But in terms of a real like wrestling gimmick that's like getting over, and I mean he's lit AAA on fire basically. I also had to say El Grande Americano.
Yeah.
Following that though, we got to go back to the lows of the low, and this is going to go worst match of the year. Now, I really had a hard time grasping this one and maybe anything.
Yeah, this was tough. It was tough.
So I just put some of the Maxine Natty matches that were on Raw during that WrestleMania season that just were getting no reaction and nobody cared. And I also had it for worst feud. But Ryan, if you got something better, I can definitely co-sign.
Yeah, I think we see a lot of bad matches, Micah. So I don't want to just pinpoint one. So I went in a different direction, and I just go with the booking that made me the most angry. And I'm gonna go with Darby Allin squashing MJF in 2 minutes because it just at the time, I don't think any reasonable fan would tell you that that was a great decision. just because they missed the boat on Darby a year prior to that, when he was when the Death Riders had a death grip on the main event scene, and it seemed like Darby was the one that was going to save the company, and then he just had to climb Mount Everest, so he didn't do that. So you missed your opportunity there, and then you give it to him a year later in the lead up to one of the biggest pay per views that you're going to do in Wembley Stadium. And MJF was supposed to be the untouchable franchise heel, and then you get the big baby face to come and to beat MJF, and it would have meant a lot more if MJF didn't hot potato the title with Darby Allin. And it just seemed like they did it just for the headlines, to steal headlines from WrestleMania, because that was the same week WrestleMania happened. Like, I don't know if you remember that, but
I did forget about that.
Yeah, just to have 6 weeks of Darby Allin doing, having 30-minute matches with Ace Austin. I don't know. I don't think you treat your main event heel MJF like that. So yeah, Darby Allin versus MJF in that 3-minute squash match was my worst match of the year.
I was puzzled by the decision, but I'm not gonna say worst match to me personally. Now I do think one thing. Well, and that's what that aggravates me also because of the Brody situation. They had just done this angle.
Oh
2
yeah,
3 months earlier.
Yeah, and they just didn't crown Brody. They had to crown Darby Allin. It was like 1/3 the size of Brody.
Yeah, and I feel like Brody was getting over during that time, and like now I just feel like he's falling back off.
Remember Bandito?
Yeah,
could have did something with him.
And
Andrade, you could have put the title on Andrade.
Hey, I'm still here for that. And now it's just, I don't know, man. I think Darby did the best he could. I think he had a good run with it. Like, he was the fighting champion that wanted to defend it every week. And while that's maybe not always my cup of tea, there was a lot of people that enjoyed that. But it kind of just felt like
during the time where we were having 3 other open challenges.
Yeah. It kind of just felt like a vanity run. Like, they just had to give it to him to kind of, like, I don't even want to say appease, because I don't think we have the meats. I don't think Darby would have thrown a fit about like not getting the world title or anything. It
maybe
just
to justify those 4 pillar things that they had a couple years ago.
I mean, yeah, but Reek's still banished to Ring of Honor.
Oh man, come on now. No, he had a match with him in that run. Oh, Sammy Guevara and Darby actually did have a match on Collision for the world title.
Oh, I forgot about that actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
And who's a real scooper out there that remembers the Reek lore?
Just Goldust's little buddy out there. I don't know. I think he's back on ROH now. Mercedes is back, so he's not gonna be on the show anytime soon.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a couple I had also considered for this as well. Cody, Randy, WrestleMania Night 1, that was pretty low. But we'll touch on that a little later, I think. We'll move on to the match of the year, and I feel like we may also agree here, Ryan. But I'll let you go ahead, and we'll see if we meet in the middle.
I think this is going to surprise you, Micah, but I'm still going with Roman versus CM Punk. Just because I think of the magnitude and 2 of the biggest stars in the world as far as wrestling goes, meeting at the biggest stage possible, and it absolutely delivered. And they probably had the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, and it was in the main event.
Whoa.
I don't think, I said it, and I don't think it gets any bigger than that. And you had the great emotional promo package. CM Punk got to use his old ROH theme, which I predicted months before, but I digress. And they went out there, and CM Punk showed you that he is still the best in the world. And yeah, man, it was just some maybe the only hiccup I would say in that match is the phantom DQ spot with steel steps, where should have been DQ. But everything else built and everything else made sense. Great selling. They told a great story with the end. CM Punk about to finish Roman Reigns, like he beat all the other Shield members with the double GTS, but he couldn't do it. He just finally ran into that wall. The age caught up to him, Micah. He was exhausted, and Roman Reigns took advantage, and he beat CM Punk. And I don't think it gets any better than that as far as magnitude and delivering in the biggest moment in the biggest stadium of the year. And yeah, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. The build up wasn't what I thought it was going to be. They had some bright spots, but they absolutely knocked it out of the park at WrestleMania. 5 stars.
I agree to a certain extent. This was my honorable mention. I think it is 5 stars. I think everything that you mentioned is, for the most part, right. I don't know if I can co-sign greatest WrestleMania match. I'll have to watch it close to Shawn and Taker. But yeah, this is one that I think I'm gonna have to like. I've already rewatched them, and I think when I get to the end of the year, I'm gonna have to rewatch them, and then probably rewatch them again just to really make sure. But for now, I'm gonna go with Mask versus Mask. I think the build-up was better. I think the payoff was better. Personally, I was not a fan of Roman winning the title. However, it was a big moment being a CM Punk fan to see him get that. But I think the El Grande Americano one is just such a happy ending, and everything just tied together so well in that match. We got blood, you get your run-ins. There's really something in it for everybody. And yeah, I just think I really can't heap enough praise. Like we talked about it earlier, but it's hard to like really break down all the intricacies of how good that match is and just the stuff that is done so well, and it helps with the crowd too.
Oh yeah, crowd's
But I
nuclear
can
in that match.
Yes, and I can apply that same argument to Punk and Roman. There's so many little things that maybe you don't notice on the first watch that you pick up later. I think both of these matches are great. I don't really think there's a wrong answer. But for me personally, right now, Mask versus Mask is my match of the year. But hey, we'll see what we land on in December. But moving on, we'll go to the best weekly TV show of the year. And I think this is pretty much a lock from both of us. We've kind of described this already. Ryan, for me, it's going to be AAA. Once again, it's an hour. I can sit down, I can watch it. I'm invested to see what happens. I don't skip it, I don't catch clips. I'm there. And it comes on Saturdays. I may catch it on a Sunday afternoon, but I'm still there either way. And I look forward to the new AAA episode. Every other weekly TV show, I catch clips or I wait to skip ads. And AAA is just the only one that I really don't have a negative thing to say about it.
I'm with you. I was a late watcher. I did not catch it until you said you have to start watching this show. And I picked it up one day, and I'm an avid watcher every single week. They don't overstay its welcome. It's an hour. They do very simple stuff. Michael, I know you didn't watch the last show, but the last AAA show, they had 2 squash matches on the show, and it worked. It's old school stuff. But yeah, the crowds are always 100% into it. And a little small detail that I don't think a lot of people talk about. I think the ring mat, I think that adds to the product too. It's just something about how their ring sounds that I don't know. It just makes it feel more old school. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, the ring, you don't really hear the wrestling ring.
Well, it's their whole setup to me. The metal guardrails that aren't
Gritty.
just freaking
Yeah, it's gritty.
yes, and I love that. That's what I want in a wrestling show. That's one thing I used to love about Dynamite. It just felt different. There's not lights and LEDs everywhere. I wish AAA had a little bit more of an original stage, but it's definitely not too much. It's the typical small WWE show. But yeah, it just feels gritty and different and not overproduced and over
Yeah,
polished like everything else today.
and the fans don't try to be, smart asses and getting themselves over. They actually boo the heels and they cheer the baby faces. And it just seems like everybody's having a good time there. I don't know, man. It's a very easy show to watch every single week, and I can't say enough good things about it. I love that
Yeah.
show. Triple A, yeah.
It's my safe space right now in a
Yeah.
bad climate of wrestling. And I figured we would agree on that. I could tell you it definitely wasn't going to be WWE at large, but
That's crazy. You would have, bro. If you would have asked me 6 months earlier, hey, you guys are not gonna pick any WWE or AEW shows as your weekly show of the week, and what would you think it was gonna be? I probably would have said, okay, well, we're gonna see this new Impact show coming up. It's probably gonna be Impact, right? But no, it's Triple A. How about
God,
that?
that'd be worst show.
Hey man, we did give it a shot this year. Shout out AMC. We gave it a shot. We crossed the line, but we quickly ran for cover.
Some lines were crossed, all right. Some personal lines were crossed. Uh, but regardless of that, we'll move on to the next one, and this may be a sweep in this regard as well. Promotion of the year. And I don't know that we can we count them as different ones, Ryan? I'll let you take the lead
I
here, but
yeah, because a lot of people count NXT as different from WWE, but I'm going with WWE, Micah, just because not because it's been barn burners every week or memorable programs and rivalries and matches. Just I went with what company is making the most money, and that's WWE, man. So I picked WWE as the promotion of the year because they make the most money. And I know it's probably a cop out answer, but that's the criteria I was doing for this award.
yeah, my criteria is most compelling television that I'm interested in, and I got to go AAA again. I mean, I know it's a what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, like a sister territory of WWE, but AAA is
It
just
still counts, yeah. It still counts.
yeah, it's just a different taste to me. It's something I've been clamoring for in a world where everything else is just the same exact thing. It feels like yes, there's differences between AEW and WWE, but AAA to me checks more of my boxes, and so for that, I'm gonna go promotion of the year. Plus, they've got feud of the year, they got potential match of the year. Um, they sold out 20,000 for their big show. We still have Triple
We got
Mania coming up later
we
this
got Triple
year.
Mania. That's gonna be a good show. That's 2 nights too.
Yeah, and so I'm very interested to just see where it keeps going. Now, anything can change. There's still obviously 6 months left in the year, but for right now, AAA
We
is going to be my promotion of the year. I will
we might
say,
we might be talking about that Triple Mania show as show of the year too at end of the year.
yeah, it definitely depends on how they shape it up. And I mean, obviously, El Grande and Dominic. I hope they don't do that at the Vegas show. I really hope they do that uh, at the show in
Oh yeah,
Mexico.
you got to do it in Mexico. You got to do it in Mexico.
I
I
hope,
would hope there'd
but
be more main roster crossover too for that show.
yeah, probably more so on the Vegas card, I would think, at least, just in terms of logistics and trying to get passports and the whole nine, which
Yeah,
I know they have it, but still. Um, I would say for my honorable mention, AEW over WWE. I know we have different like thoughts here in terms of that, but I just feel like AEW to me has been more interesting and palatable this year than they maybe have been in the past few. And WWE to me has just more regressed. So again, it's not It's not Jover, but we'll see what happens for the rest of the year, or as far as the rest of the year is concerned. But we've
Yeah,
got the
well,
shocking moment of the year.
shocking moment. Okay, all right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped one. We're going to go to worst booking decision of the year.
Oh man. Yeah.
Definitely a handful of things to pick from here. But there was
You got
one
wow, yeah.
there was one that was more rotten than the rest to me, and that is the involvement of Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll in the main
Oof.
event, the main feud of WrestleMania, when you already had such a baked in story with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. I don't even know that this one needs any further explanation. If you were there while it was happening, you understand what I mean. It ended up weighing the entirety of night one down and left a foul taste in everybody's mouth about WrestleMania going into what was an excellent night two. But yeah, this has got to be it for me.
Yeah, like you said, it had the potential. Maybe one week there was like a bright spot, but then it went off the rails, and then the involvement of Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee, and I don't even know where Randy is at this point. I don't. He hasn't been seen since WrestleMania, and Pat. There was rumors that he was going to be involved in Backlash, and that never came to fruition. So, very odd lead up to WrestleMania with Randy and Cody, and this seems to be a reoccurring thing for Cody Rhodes as far as like odd lead ups to WrestleMania. And he made one work with Rock. He couldn't make the Cena one work, and he couldn't make that Randy one work. So yeah, hopefully Gunther ends our misery then beats Cody Rhodes for the championship on Friday.
I'm down for it,
But
man. I'm
wait a
sorry.
minute. You know, it might you probably can't beat Cody Rhodes on Juneteenth. That might be a conflict of interest. I don't know. Can you
Oh,
beat
here we
Cody on
go.
Juneteenth, Micah? Can you do that?
I'll let you have this discussion because I know it's it's definitely a hot topic online.
Mr. Raheem. Nah, I'm just happy Juneteenth, everybody, too. I don't know when you're gonna be listening to this, but yeah, shout out Juneteenth. And if you're listening to this 2 weeks from now, happy 4th of July. And now how do we get on this, Micah? Oh, Cody Rhodes. Yeah, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton and the worst feud of the year.
Well, no, maybe not necessarily worst feud. It's up there, but
Worst
worst
booking.
booking decision.
Worst booking.
Such a layup feud too, man. It's just
It was.
aggravating.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we've got the shocking moment of the year, which I kind of flubbed earlier. But Ryan, you got the floor on this one. I'm picking between a few still.
Wait a minute. What's the next category?
Shocking moment of the year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't. This was a quick one for me as far as answers go when you sent me over the list. The only thing that I could think of was AJ Styles losing to Gunther at the Royal Rumble. Just because you didn't think that it was going to happen so early on in the year, because they announced that this is going to be AJ Styles' last year in wrestling. And then the match happened with Gunther and AJ Styles, career threatening match. And AJ just passes out. And it seemed like they were building to a rematch because AJ didn't want to take his gloves off. But then he just got to the Hall of Fame at WrestleMania, and that was it. AJ Styles' career was over. So it was a very shock moment that Gunther ended AJ Styles' career at the Royal Rumble and not, you think you do something that big, you do it at WrestleMania, Micah.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. That one honestly didn't even cross my mind. One that I will say just because of the climate of the world is WWE going to Saudi Arabia for Royal Rumble. I definitely did not think that was going to go through. I figured there was going to be a late pivot, but nonetheless, everything still went off without a hitch over there. And when I'm glad because, the last thing we want to see is anybody get hurt. That's just,
Yeah, he ended his career, he being AJ Styles. He ended it at pretty much the peak of his powers because AJ could still go. AJ Styles could
no,
still probably go for another 2 or 3 years.
100%. And he was in some of the best looking shape of his life.
Yeah, he was jacked. Yeah, he really jacked. But now I
So,
hear he has maybe a job waiting for him, or he's already started that job at the Performance Center. So yeah, the future is in really good hands when if AJ Styles is going to be down there training.
yeah. And that definitely was a shock to me. My other one that I'm actually giving this award to is going to be Drew winning the WWE Championship right in the middle of WrestleMania season. That
Okay.
just really, I mean, I was hoping, but you really didn't expect it because they had kind of screwed Drew over so many times. And then, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I don't think he won it in the middle of WrestleMania season, but he definitely held it throughout WrestleMania season because he defended it at the Royal Rumble show against Sammy. So that just really, really shocked me that they were going to let him do that, especially because obviously, Cody Rhodes is the guy that should be WWE champion, and we need him to headline WrestleMania. And that's what we were talking about early into the WrestleMania season. What match could you do with Drew that felt like a WrestleMania main event? And we were kind of grasping at straws. And so they did pivot, but I will say, just as a very shock finish moment, the first one that came to my head was Drew winning the WWE championship.
And you know what? That was overseas too. I think I ruined the surprise for myself because I saw the spoilers at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and so it wasn't a big shock for me. But yeah, it's if you were watching it live, I can see that. But maybe history will repeat itself on Friday, Mike. A random title change on a SmackDown. Maybe Gunther takes the title off Cody in the same fashion. Who knows?
We can only hope. And another
I
award
think it
that
is.
we
I'm a hold up now. I'm going out on a limb right now. Gunther is gonna win the title.
and who's he facing at SummerSlam?
Who's Gunther facing?
Yeah, is it going to be
Man,
Cody again?
they do Sammy and Cody. Do a triple threat.
So
Can't
you
do a
don't think
triple
they're going to
threat.
run Jay Cody?
I do not. I do not think Jay is gonna win the. I don't know. I don't think Jay is gonna win the King of the Ring. Have people lost their mind?
Bro, if he beats Obafemi,
There's no way. Sweet Nova, baby. What? I don't
it's
think he
going to
beats
get
Javon.
disgusting.
I don't think he beats Javon Evans.
Hope not. It would do more for Javon to win, but I
I
don't
think
know,
LA
man.
Knight. I think LA Knight gets involved. They've been having a lot of back and forth over the last couple weeks, and they had a segment on Raw too that was kind of planting the seeds for something down the line. But I could be wrong. We are in the ruthless depression era, Micah. So
I love that
keep it
name.
going.
It cracks me up. But what I was gonna say is another award that we could name after one of the guys, and he's still gonna be my winner. The CM Punk Award for Best on Promos. I'm gonna go CM Punk. I really don't like. Maybe honorable mention would be MJF, but I just don't see anybody else really in the stratosphere. I thought Roman at one point in time, but that feud exposed him to me, and so I don't know if you have anybody else, but Punk's my guy.
I got maybe a dark horse for the end of the year. I'm gonna go Obafemi as dark horse, but yeah, CM Punk and that promo he had in the lead up to WrestleMania, where he came out there and completely buried Pat McAfee and the ticket prices. that won him the award right then and there. I don't think there's been a better promo segment throughout the whole year. And yeah, just enjoy it while you got it, folks, because CM Punk is a top 5 promo of all time. And whenever he's there, whenever he has a microphone, it is must see television. But yeah, shout out Obafemi too, because he has some of the best like after match promo segments where he's fired up and it's just like everything he says you believe. So yeah, man, shout out Obafemi as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought about that, but I was like, well, maybe it's too early. You know, I don't want to be too biased. 'Cause I know everybody's like, oh my God, you're just Obafemi's #1 fan, aren't you?
Yeah, we
Well,
are. What
yeah.
up?
So, but I'm very impressed with Oba, and it's no secret that this is my #1 and #2 favorites right now. It's almost like promos really, really matter, guys. But
Wow.
nonetheless, we move on. A weird one for me to pick, and I'll let you take this one first, Ryan. Tag Team of the Year.
I'm gonna go with Division, and I didn't
Oh,
have much to choose
God.
from. Yeah, I was gonna, bro. I looked, and I looked. I was debating the Hardy Boys. I really was. I was like, well, dang, maybe the Hardys had a pretty good year, but they weren't champions as long. They're still probably the biggest draws in TNA, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Division. They've been a focal point of Raw throughout the whole year. They were the tag champs. They're still the tag champs, and throughout all the injuries, they still are a focal point of the show. And there's not a lot of main event tag teams out there, Micah. So I don't see how you can pick anybody but Division. They're the only main event tag team we have.
You're gonna just kill me for this answer next, right?
What we got?
I'm gonna go Rio.
What? Rio? Rhea Ripley?
I
Io
did
Sky.
not. I
Come
I
on,
did
man.
not think that there was a better
Come on,
tag
man.
team this year than these
What?
two right here.
Come on, man. Are you
Tag
trolling?
champs, consistent TV matches, good TV matches, and I think they had a good division to do it with. Alexa and Charlotte, Lyra
What was your
Bailey.
favorite? What was your favorite Rio match?
Well,
Yeah,
I'm glad you asked, Ryan, because
go ahead.
I really, really expected you to give me some pushback on this
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure you texted me once they were split up that, oh my God, thank God, please get Rhea away from her.
yeah, that was me.
So my favorite match is one, and you should remember this for a later answer, is going to be one that they had against the Judgment Day. Liv Morgan, Lyra Valkyria. Not Lyra Valkyria, Roxanne
Wait.
Perez.
Okay. Well, when did that happen?
It was, I believe it was some Raw in January.
Some Raw in January. Okay. Well, you can't tell me that match on some Raw in January was better than Division versus the Street Profits at Saturday Night's Main Event. In the main event on Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yeah, but that's their only defense.
They've had the titles for quite a bit. And they've been a tag team all year.
Yeah, like 90
They're a main
days. And
event
what have
tag
they
team.
done with it?
They're a main event tag team, though. You think Rio's a main event tag team?
I mean, they main evented some Raws. I think Rhea and
Main
Io
evented
get
some Raws.
great
Damian
reactions.
Demento main evented some Raws. You putting Damian Demento as your wrestler of the year?
Shout out Damian Demento. I'm just saying, like, my other option is what? The Vision, FTR, or what is it? Wepa time?
Well, you could have went with the Don Callis family.
Oh, God. Come on now.
Rhea
And Io is a great tandem. I think that they were the clear favorite here. Tag team wrestling is dead right now. And
bro, it brought Rhea down when she was around Io. It brought her down.
I don't agree with that.
You think she has as much aura as she did back in 2023?
Well, no, but I don't think
She
she
got
does.
this
I
the
don't think she
smiling
did
she got the
before they got
smiling
together
goof
either.
EO. She had the EO weighing her down, that smiling goof. She was carrying EO through that whole endeavor.
That's crazy. You just don't like
What
EO.
great I know, I just don't. She doesn't have any good promos, man. She can do the flips, but that doesn't make you a good wrestler if you can do the flips. Can you cut me a promo, pal? Can you tell me a
Come
story?
on.
I don't know.
They did tell a
I
story with
thought it.
Asuka and Kyrie, and then they cut her.
Well, yeah, they didn't even want to see the end.
Come on. Rio is my pick. For honorable mention, I had FTR, but that really was just not even.
No,
That
get
was
out of here.
just
No, that's
somebody's got to
2020.
be there.
Yeah, that 2022 maybe, but certainly not in 2026.
What a fall off. We move on. This is not going to be a wrestler of the year per se, but this is our MVP, which is like the draw, the one that everybody's coming to see. This is that person. And for the female side of things, I've got Rhea Ripley as my female MVP. I still feel like she's a big draw for the company. The
I'll
fans
probably just
love
say
her.
EO. The way you just
Oh, come
glazed her
on.
last award. I'm just saying. Sure you don't want EO right here, Micah?
I feel like Rhea is the biggest women's star in wrestling right now, and I feel like she could be the greatest women's wrestler when it's all said and done. And I think that Rhea is the female MVP. She's the draw. She always gets a big reaction.
Yeah, I agree. But to be honest, bro, this wasn't a deep pool to pull from.
Well, I really can't say that there's a deep pull for the men's MVP either. So I'm going to have to go for a guy that to me was there every week. I'm sorry, Ryan. You take the lead for male MVP. I'm stepping all over your spot here.
I'm going Roman Reigns just for the same stuff you just said about Rhea Ripley, the biggest box office attraction you have. And he's been there consistently every single week. And, whether we like it or not, Micah, and I've been hot and cold on it lately, but the bloodline stuff, it gets attention from the casual audience. The casual audience still loves Roman Reigns. And when you go into the arena, everybody got their ones to the sky. Everybody's singing the OTC chant. Everybody's singing the Roman Reigns sing song chant. So, yeah, Roman Reigns is still the biggest box office draw in wrestling. And I don't think it's particularly close. Maybe with CM Punk, if he was there the whole year, maybe. But yeah, Roman Reigns.
I cannot co-sign that. The Raw ratings are doing some of the worst they've ever done with Roman on top.
Oh, okay, get out of here.
I'm serious.
I don't know about those numbers.
I'm just saying from
I'm not so sure about those numbers.
From what's being put out there, and to me, it just feels like, yeah, I know Triple H says the internet is the small minority, but I just feel like the only people that enjoy this bloodline stuff are the people that are just genuinely casuals. They're not the people tuning in every week. I feel like everyone else is sick of this. And I feel like ultimately they have the title on the wrong guy because the real male MVP is CM Punk, who was there every week to start the year off, was having
He took his
good
ball
back
and went
and
home.
forth. Oh,
He
come
left.
on.
He quit the territory, Micah.
Roman wasn't here for like the first half of the year.
He was there in January. He won the Royal Rumble. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and then what? When did he show up?
He took 1 week off after Elimination Chamber. And then he was there. He's been there every week.
He was taking weeks off against Punk.
No. After Punk finished his feud with Finn, Roman was there every single week except 1 week. He was there.
How do you miss a week during WrestleMania season?
He missed 1 week compared to that WrestleMania 40 build-up where he missed like 3 weeks. I think he's been there more consistently this year than he's been there in the last 5 years.
I agree with you, but I still just think they had the Elimination Chamber in the United Center. Punk got the freaking Bulls announcer, the Bulls little music or whatever. That's the guy to me. That's the male MVP.
But you didn't do
People
it for the
watch
whole
when
year,
Punk's
Micah.
there.
You left. You left for 2 months. 3
Well,
months now. Look like he's going to
by
come back middle of July.
all the time that Roman missed to start this year, I'm sure him and Punk have missed about the same time. And Punk's actually wrestling more too.
You think CM Punk's a bigger draw than Roman Reigns?
I think that for this year, he has been.
What?
Especially when I look at what Roman did during the Punk feud. That soured me on him real bad.
Well, we talking about box office draws, though, Micah. If we're doing that, then maybe Becky Lynch should have been female MVP.
She was my honorable.
Well, so what are we? How are we doing this award? What are we just doing? If it's box office attraction, it's got to be Roman Reigns.
I think if it's box office attraction, it's got to be Punk.
You think Punk is more valuable than Roman Reigns?
People are changing the channel with Roman on top.
I'm not buying that, bro. You see, people. Meltzer is saying that they're not even doing 1 million domestic viewers, and that just seems that seems false to me. That doesn't seem feasible that Raw is doing AEW Dynamite ratings when they're selling out 14, 15,000 seat arenas every week. That doesn't seem right to me.
I mean, there's probably some people getting it through other means, but
I'm just not buying that. They're in the top 10 every single week.
Well, we can move on to our big two. To start us off, Women's Wrestler of the Year.
Oh.
Now this, I don't feel like there's a surefire answer here at all. So, you know what? I'm just going to throw out a different answer that probably nobody is expecting. And I'm going to go off a different criteria because if we're going off accolades, you've got, your champions, but I don't feel like any champion right now, when we're talking Rhea, Liv, Thekla, I don't feel like any of them have had solid reigns and feuds and the whole nine that I've just really cared about, even Stephanie or Jade beforehand. So I'm going to go for a lady that no matter what is there wherever you need her. She's putting in the work. She's constantly on the show. And so for my Women's Wrestler of the Year right now, I'm going Bayley. And I'm going Bayley because Bayley Bayley was in the competitive tag division with Lyra.
Speedball?
Come on now. She's making trips to AAA. She had a good match against Flammer down there. She's still involved in the feud with her a little bit, but she's still doing Raw at the same time. I think she's done some SmackDowns for the Women's Tag Team Championship. I don't really have a solid answer for you right now, but Bayley is making the towns. She's doing the rounds, and she's my Women's Wrestler of the Year halfway through the year.
You giving her Women's Wrestler of the Year because she has perfect attendance? Because she ain't used the PTO all year? Is that what you're saying?
I got to go with the Dean Malenko method. What year was that? Was that 97?
Yeah, that was 98, I think. And that was Steve Austin's biggest year, 98. They gave it to Dean Malenko.
And I think, what was the reason? That none of them had enough matches that year or something like that?
I think he was just the darling of the IWC at that point. I don't think it was match quantity.
No, I think there was a reason, because I thought it was like, they were like, oh, well, we couldn't put Sting because Sting only had like 3 matches, and they couldn't put Hogan because Hogan only had like 7 matches or something like that. So I think Dean got it by default, but I'll do some research, Ryan. Let me know who your Women's Wrestler of the Year is.
I think you got to go with Liv Morgan here, Micah. Just because you kind of made fun of me when I told you that she was going to win my Women's Wrestler of the Year, and you asked, has she worked any matches? And she's worked like 15 matches this year, even after taking some time off, because the reckless Vakir got Liv Morgan hurt from the lead up of WrestleMania. But Micah, she won the Royal Rumble, she being Liv. She had the best women's feud throughout the whole year going into WrestleMania with Stephanie and Liv. They had a very good feud. And I think what tipped the scales, Micah, is when she sung her entrance theme. Because Micah, you know, when you sing your entrance theme, you become a made man. Everybody that sung their entrance themes are big stars. Just look at the names, Micah. John Cena, Shawn Michaels. Who am I missing? Big Show? Big Show.
I'll count
Batista. Batista. I don't know. Am I missing
Batista.
Dolph? I don't know who sung their themes, man. But you know what I mean. When you sing your theme, you're an absolute star. Can you name anybody that sung their theme that wasn't a big star? You can't.
No. I mean, I think you're actually
Road
right.
Dogg.
Kurt
R-Truth.
Angle.
Well, he's a big star.
I'm just a sexy Kurt.
It was a classic.
I'll make your ankle
Yeah,
hurt.
Micah. There you go.
I can't co-sign Liv because I just
You
don't...
like that song. I like you don't like that song.
Hey, the song is catchy. Corey was getting down to it. That's our commentator of the year, but I don't feel like Liv has done anything.
Was he getting down? Well, what would you call that?
He was
doing
throwing
something
it
with it. Oh man.
But I can't co-sign Liv because once again, and this is WWE's problem right now, they cannot book women's champions. No, I literally gave it to Bayley.
You hate women, Micah. That's what it is.
You got me. You got me.
Yeah.
Regardless of that, we move on to the final award we're going to hand out here today. Once again, these are not final. We've got 6 more months left of 2026, but these are just predictions, not spoilers. But for Men's Wrestler of the Year, this was another hard one, but I feel like I had some more like definite answers, some guys that I could point to. And mine is a guy that I felt strongly about earlier in the year. Since then, maybe he's not doing anything to help his case right now, but I still don't feel like anybody has necessarily lapped him. And that's going to be CM Punk. I think that Punk was doing everything right to make Raw interesting, to make the World Championship interesting. He was having good matches. The best match of WrestleMania this year. One of the best WrestleMania matches of the decade, if not all time. I would definitely put it in consideration. And I think that he was the strong point of the Punk-Roman feud, even if Roman kind of crapped the bed in it. And yeah, I just feel like the guy is still everything that he says he is and more. There's nobody like CM Punk. That's what makes him interesting. He's the last territory wrestler. He's the last guy that makes you really feel like this is real, that you can get invested in what he's doing. And other than that, my honorable mention was going to be MJF, a guy that I feel like has elevated AEW when he's been on top.
I'll get out of here.
When he's not on top, it kind of goes down. So I feel like
it went down when he let Darby squash him. When he let the school shooter squash him on Dynamite. That's when it went downhill.
Exactly. And now that he's got it back again, things are looking interesting. When MJF's on top, AEW's better, and therefore I think he's had great matches.
He's lost something though. It just doesn't feel the same. You know he can be beat. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel the same. But Yeah, the wrestler of the year title. I don't know how we were supposed to quantify this, but I just went with my favorite wrestler for this year, and that's CM Punk. Just all the reasons you listed. Yeah, he's in his Terry Funk like era right now, where he's middle aged and crazy, and he's still cutting the best promos when he does wrestle, which I think he has like 4 matches this year. Some pretty good stuff, and I'm hoping he comes back and gets right back into the main event scene on SmackDown because he needs to get away from the Bloodline vortex for a little while, and SmackDown really needs him. Talk about an afterthought show throughout the whole year, SmackDown. But yeah, CM Punk was my favorite wrestler of the year, even though he only had 4 matches.
I don't think we have any real big news coming up over the next few weeks. Like I said, we're going to be back next week for sure. We're going to be more consistent throughout the back half of the year with the weekly reviews. A big pay-per-view / PLE slate coming up. Make sure you check out our socials at ScoopSlam, Instagram, TikTok, X. We're back on Threads now. We're doing the whole thing. Make sure you follow us on YouTube as well if you're not already listening on YouTube. Most importantly, enjoy your weekend. Happy Juneteenth. Take care of yourself. Stay out of trouble. And have a good one.